perimenopausal and menopausal women. Tune in. My name is Megan. I'm a trainer and registered dietitian at Fitness Lying Down, and this is my Nourish to Flourish segment, where I, in this episode, am going to give you 3 key things to focus on if you are in this season of life, or you are about to enter this season of life. Number 1, I want you to make sure that you're getting enough protein coming in. When I have clients coming in to talk with me about developing a nutrition plan and we calculate out nutrient needs, I spend a lot of time talking about protein. And I do that because protein is highly valuable. We have to get it from our food, just like many other nutrients in our diet. But this is one that our body can't really make given the things that are already in our system. We can kind of flex back and forth with making carbohydrates out of things that aren't carbs, but protein is one of the things where we need to get it coming in from outside. So we want to make sure that we're getting enough. This is one of the things where, again, then the next question is, well, how much do I need? Well, it kind of depends. But for most of the clients that I see that are in this season of life, I'm calculating out, if you're having about 3 meals a day, that we're getting about 30 grams of protein at every eating opportunity. So somewhere around 100-ish grams of protein. Now, this might not be exactly true for you, but again, if we're talking overarching ideas, that's kind of like the biggest ballpark recommendation. And so we want to make sure that we're getting protein consistently and evenly during the day. This is going to help from a hunger standpoint. It's very satiating. It's going to help from a muscle repair because we need all those amino acids. And so now again, you might be thinking, muscle repair, what does that have to do with anything? As you get into this season of life, we're losing some estrogen. Our body's not making nearly as much. And estrogen can have some protective benefits in different areas of our body, and muscle tissue is one of them. So this is a way that we can kind of help support that, is making sure that we're getting enough coming in from our diet, so that way our body has all the building blocks that it needs. So, number 1, protein. Also, if you don't know what 30 grams of protein looks like, get ready to take a screenshot, okay? Because here is a chart that I like to share with a lot of my clients that puts foods into their respective servings. Now, of course, as you're looking at this, you might feel a little overwhelmed by some of these. And I'm not going to say that that's the point, but more so to prove that we live in a society where we are often underfueling our bodies. So, I'm going to let protein rest where it is. So number 1 is protein. Number 2, I want you to put some clothes on your carbohydrates. I feel like I talk about naked carbohydrates all the time. Here we go again, saying naked carbs. But here's the thing. As I mentioned before, as we're losing estrogen, our body's ability to process and to handle and to manage rises and spikes in our blood glucose are not where they once were. We become more insulin resistant as we get into this season because estrogen is helpful for that. So this isn't to say that you have to go on like a keto diet and only eat 50 grams of carbohydrates. We're not demonizing them. You don't have to give up, bread and whatever, kind of everything in that carb category. But what I am saying is that if you are going to have a carbohydrate, if you're going to have some pasta, if you're going to have some bread, if you're going to have some XYZ, whatever you want to fill in the blank, make sure that it is not by itself. Okay, that's where we're putting clothes on our naked carbohydrates. Of course, we can calculate out what your carbohydrate needs might be in this season, but we'll save that either for another segment, or you can come in and you can chat with me and I can help you do the back math for that. So that is going to be number 2. Carbs, pair them with something. Pair them with the protein, pair them with some fiber. All right. And then number 3, this is not necessarily nutrition related, but it falls under my area of expertise, is that you need to be strength training. And now when I say strength training, I mean not just like picking up the 2-pound dumbbells. Like, you need to have a stimulus to your body. Again, as I mentioned before, with the things that are happening with estrogen, we're going to have some changes in our muscle tissue. We're also going to have some changes in our bone tissue. And strength training, lifting heavy things, is a really important stimulus to our bone tissue as well, to stimulate and to preserve our bone matter. Okay, so there's 3 things. Get your protein, put some clothes on your carbohydrates, and lift some heavy stuff. All right, now that you know better, let's go out and do better so we can all be better.